I'm a robot vacuum cleaner, so yeah, I got one gig. I suck up dirt, so pardon my inferiority complex about Geico, who does so much more. Like, not only could they save their customers money on car insurance, but they got fast and friendly claim service too, and an award-winning mobile app. Plus access to licensed agents 24/7. Who am I kidding? I can't even do corners. Uh-oh, choking hazard.
Popcorn kernels.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Over the course of the show today, we're going to be doing an on-air show meeting where we allow the audience and ask the audience to do our job for us by creating ideas for this megacast. We're going to watch as a show the bogus national championship that is being played on Monday night between Alabama and Georgia, even though the rightful champion will be celebrating with us in Orlando, UCF. Rightful champion of college football. But before we get to that, we've got maybe the most interesting Patriot story I've ever seen. And I know what I'm saying when I say that, given they've had a murderer in their huddle. They've had monster scandals that aren't actually monster scandals. But Seth Wickersham is now reporting the famed locker room schism. That's right. That's right. And Seth Wickersham, that's right. I think it's Ian Rappaport, or who's the other one? We've got more NFL reporters than we have NFL news. What is Rappaport is the schism guy. There's always a tension in the locker room about something. He reports tension.
I think it started with Brett Favre and a schism in the locker room, and I believe it was Ian Rappaport, but we'll check on it.
I got Schefter as the inventor of the schism.
No,
really? Wow.
No, I will not have you do that. Rappaport is schism. He's the inventor of the schism in the locker room. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Who invented the locker room schism news? Was it Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport?
I got an article here from 2009. Schefter reports that the schism between Jackson supporters and Rosenfeld supporters. Wow, we actually did that quarterback controversy.
Right, but the schism is real. But I think the first to report the schism was Ian Rappaport. I think it was a follow-up to Rappaport.
Well, certainly Rappaport has broken more schism news than anyone in the history of the schism. Please go over again, if you will. What was that quarterback competition?
Tavares Jackson and Sage Rosenfels.
Wow.
Woo, woo, woo. Woo. So that's not what we have today. The quarterback involved in this particular schism is slightly better than the aforementioned Tavares Jackson and Sage Rosenfeld. And he appears to have gone over the head of Bill Belichick to get Jimmy Garoppolo traded by going to the owner of the team. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the single most human story in the history of this robot franchise where Tom's threatened by the young, good-looking guy. I mean, the Patriots are finally getting hurt by the thing that affects every other vain person in the NFL. They've always been immune to this, but now you've got a situation that looks like Brady going over the head of Belichick to get rid of Garoppolo. And doing it through Kraft.
I love the story. It's like Brady's thinking to himself, hey, Belichick's not looking at me the way he used to, and not nearly as often. He's looking at that other guy over there, Jimmy Garoppolo. I got to take care of business here.
I didn't think that Tom Brady could feel jealous or threatened. And it's only the single most human thing in that family's life, because the two of them, him and his wife, robots, ice robots. And now look at who's the supermodel in their relationship. Because Brady's just done with subservience now. Mike Holley told us, the author of, Mike Holley told us Belichick is a lot of different things. And Mike Holley told us something funny, that Bill Belichick sometimes will be snorting with tears in his eyes, laughing, watching or listening onto the computer to the Jerky Boys. It's prank callers. And Michael Holley told us that Tom Brady, the entirety of his career, has been happy being subservient, which is not superstar behavior. That because of the way he was raised, that he just works at Belichick's knee and there's never tension until you're 40 years old and the next backup quarterback is younger and prettier. And Belichick's got his eye on him, and Belichick won't trade him, and Belichick wants him, and Brady's like, Bob, I ain't ever called you before on something like this. Like, imagine this. This is where the power structure of the NFL is funny, because the question becomes, who's more powerful now, Belichick or Brady? And, oh, Lord, Kraft getting rid of Garoppolo tells me and Belichick, hey, it's Brady.
Yeah.
Brady's more important to me than you are, Bill. And then what does Bill do? Hey, your doctor who's not a doctor needs to get out of here. And Mina would have broken this story if she weren't so damn meek. In fact, call Mina Kimes if you would. Mina Kimes had this when Belichick kicked the doctor who's not a doctor out of the Patriots facility. Once that story broke, Mina Kimes wasn't willing to get out there with the take, wait a minute, this means there's dysfunction between Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, and it's only the most human dysfunction of all, that the champion still feels threatened. And he's not sure. Belichick is so cold. He cuts people early.
Right.
He's so cold. And this is Brady telling you, I don't trust Belichick to handle the last part of my career. I'm going over his head to Kraft. Get Garoppolo out of here. And then they trade him for nothing. They trade him. Tom Brady won a power play. This is what it looks like in this story by Seth Wickersham. Tom Brady won a power play with Bill Belichick that got Garoppolo traded.
And I remember Adam Schefter, because he said it on this show and he said it, in a million different places, where there were offers for Jimmy Garoppolo before the draft by the Cleveland Browns for a lot more than a second-round pick, and the Patriots said no. And then out of nowhere, it's a second-round pick to San Francisco. And I do wonder if this is a big story if Jimmy Garoppolo hadn't played so well over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, the whole thing. I mean,
because if he was a disaster, I don't think
okay, I don't want, but this is just fascinating because of the three principles. It's Kraft, Belichick, and Brady. They're champions for all time. They're champions for eternity. Is it cracking now at the top in a way that's eminently human?
No, this is you connecting dots because the article doesn't go as far as
no, that's right. No, Wickersham is doing the reporting on the doctor. But what's been made clear by this piece, and Mina's going to help us with this in a second, is all of the leaps that I'm making are totally logical ones.
Right, but I think what Mike is saying is the Brady part, because I think what Wickersham is saying, no one is saying that Tom Brady went over Bill Belichick's head and went directly to Bob Kraft.
Well, one person is.
I am. And Mina did. Mina was beginning to try to say it when Mina saw this clearly the moment that Belichick kicked the doctor who's not a doctor out of the facility. She just didn't say it strongly enough. This could have been her news.
See, I see it another way. I see Bob Kraft knowing Bill Belichick and knowing how old Tom Brady's getting and knowing how much he loves Tom Brady, and he goes to Belichick and he says, listen, I know what you're thinking. I see who you're staring at, and I'm telling you, not this time. We're not doing it to that guy. That guy's my son. That guy's won me 5 Super Bowls. Right. I know what you're thinking, and I'm telling you, it ain't happening.
Okay. And so then Belichick's got to get on the phone and trade somebody he doesn't want to trade. And what a bleep you to Belichick that is.
Yep.
So, Mina, tell us,
this
please.
Is so much better than facts.
Oh, that's right. I'm told. You know what? I made a mistake. Can you guys just play that? I did this in the reverse order because we got a lot of crusades going on, and so I was not the most responsible.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
We're good, I think.
Yeah, thank you. I did this in the reverse order. We've got very strong reporters, journalists doing stories, and now I'm just gasbagging. But anyway, I'm right about everything. So, Mina, you saw all this. Why did you not give your opinion in a stronger fashion when you saw exactly how it is all this happened? Because now it seems to be clear through this reporting that there are some problems between Kraft, Brady, and Belichick.
Well, it's kind of surprising to me that everybody's so shocked, because when I read Seth's story, which is fantastic, this morning, my big takeaway was everybody's acting pretty much how you'd expect if they were to act in their own self-interest here, right? I mean, the aging quarterback wants to hang on. The owner likes him too much. Bill Belichick's trying to make a football decision. So if you look at all everything that's happened over the last year and you think about it through that lens, this is the only explanation. In fact, for the Garoppolo stuff, the reason it troubled me so much is because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Why didn't they trade him? Why did they hold on to him? Why did they give him away for so little? And this is something that makes sense. So I kind of am surprised that anybody would quibble with it. It seems incredibly logical.
It does seem logical, but the thing that this shakes is the construct of the mythology in sports. They're the ultimate team. They don't get affected by normal human pettiness. They're the ultimate team.
Well, what we've got, it's a retirement story, right? So one of the other tropes in sports is the aging star, and how does he go into the sunset? And do you get the Peyton Manning thing where his corpse is carried off by Von Miller, or do you have the guy who goes out on top? or do you have the guy who goes on and plays for a bunch of other teams or the CFL terribly? And what we have here is the guy who still thinks he can play. He thinks he can play forever, and of course he can't. And his coach, who's one of the most brilliant football minds in NFL history, knows he can't and tries to act accordingly. I mean, what Stu just laid out, by the way, I 100% agree with. How you laid it out, Kraft interfering, Kraft acting with his heart instead of his head. That, I think, is accurate.
So listen, here's
Stugotz was right.
Thank you, Mike.
Holy, Stugotz was right.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it. But Mina, here's the reason we wanted you on. Did you blow it? Should this be your story?
Oh, she so blew it. Yeah. Oh, my, Mina,
it should be your story.
This should be your story, Mina. Instead, you're injuring Aaron Rodgers with your curse of a story, and you're getting Tyrod Taylor benched because of your curse of a story. This was your story, Mina.
Playoffs. By the way, how come no one's giving me credit for the Bills happening to make it to the playoffs the first time in 8 years? The same year I happened to write a story about the quarterback.
Answer Stugotz's question. Answer Stugotz's question.
I do not have any of this wonderful reporting that Seth Wickersham has that is fantastic. I mean, it's so hard to get inside that organization, guys. This is really difficult to do what Seth did, and it's amazing.
Yes, it is. If you know anything about journalism, yes, it is. Check it out. ESPN, the magazine, ESPN.com for Kraft, Brady, and Belichick. Is this the beginning of the end? It is exhaustively reported, and these things with that organization are hard to report.
ESPN Radio, I'm laughing at the title, beginning of the end. I mean, the quarterback's 40.
That's right. No, but the beginning of the end, they mean in 40 years. In 40 years, it'll be over. Belichick and Brady will have their final fight.
Dan Le Batard.
We have a montage
of
useless sound that will be for... I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my voice. What do you want me to do?
I can't relate at all. I cannot relate.
Stugotz.
I'll tell you what happened there. I just shoveled 4 turkey sticks into my face without using my hands. And I ate them the way that a pelican might.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I very rarely want to spend an entire show doing a single sports topic, super sportsy topic, but I don't think I've ever seen something quite like what's approaching with this Belichick Kraft Brady situation, because if you care about just simple human dynamics and how people work together as a team, over the course of time, you have come to hate the way that I present sports to you, because I tell you that everyone is self-interested, and then the team sort of frame it in the mythology of the other guy is just as important as me. I will die for the guy next to me. All that any given Sunday.
Right.
I'll die for that inch bleep. And really, when you get right down to it, Michael Irvin will tell you that when Alvin Harper caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl blowout, that Michael chased him down the field yelling that pass was supposed to go to me. that happens a lot in sport. That when we pin down,
it doesn't mean everyone's like Michael Irvin, but many are.
Well, but I would say maybe not everyone's like Michael Irvin. I'll grant you that. But human beings are human beings, and most of us can be impacted by small, petty things, by insecurities, by things being threatening. But the idea of Tom Brady being jealous or threatened by Jimmy Garoppolo in a way. Here are the choices you have in regard to this story involving the New England Patriots and Seth Wickersham on ESPN.com.
Because I'm not certain it was that, Dan. I think Belichick just saying it's him going to Kraft and saying, hey, the guy's 40, man. We got to start thinking moving forward here, and Garoppolo's really good. I want him for the next 15 years. And Kraft saying, I ain't doing that.
I'm not sure the details on what actually happened matter as much as us being able to make all of these people human and then put you at the center of the conundrum. Let's make Belichick, Brady, and Kraft human beings. And let's put them in your workplace. The way no, I know, I'm asking a stretch. I understand. I'm asking you to suspend disbelief. Let's say that somehow an amazing fiction created by the Disney company, the Patriots are human. Now make it like your workplace. You are the big guy in your workplace. You're a superstar. But because of the way that your workplace is structured, your boss is your boss, even though he's not really your boss. Belichick is not your boss. He's not signing your checks. He's just the guy above you who you have chosen to respect because you're dutiful Tom Brady. You respect people and you respect authority, and you've chosen to respect him for 20 years. But that man is cold. That boss is cold. You know it's cold because look at what he did to Wes Welker's head, and then he traded Wes Welker when Tom Brady didn't want him traded. That man is cold. He will trade anybody. And you don't trust that man. You, Tom Brady, don't trust that Bill Belichick is going to allow you to age gracefully. So what do? You go to your real boss. Your real boss. It's not Bill Belichick. You go over Belichick's head and you tell him, Garoppolo, no, I'm threatened by this. I can't play my best. I'm playing for you till I'm 45. Bill's going to want to get me out of here. He's going to want to do the football thing, the smart football thing. No, let's do this with your heart, not with your head. And Kraft sides with Brady. I think, if you're speculating recklessly.
And we are.
I mean, this has got it all, though.
It's great. It's a great
got
story.
It all because what do you do if you're Kraft? What?
Oh, what do? You choose Tom Brady every single time. What do you do? Did it 13-3 on a bye week. He threw for more passing yards than anyone in the NFL. What do? You stay with Brady.
Jimmy Garoppolo is undefeated as a starter.
Yeah, you stay with Brady.
Devastatingly handsome.
He is. I mean, listen, he is more handsome than Tom Brady, but
Stugotz, you stay with Brady. You
stay with Brady.
Stugotz, I want you to admit publicly right now that you are notoriously and historically short-sighted.
I am.
You are thinking about the next season and not 5 seasons from now.
I'm thinking about next week.
You're thinking about next week and not 5 seasons from now.
Correct.
The move, you don't have to choose between Brady. This is one of the things that I find fascinating about this.
I have no proof that 5 years from now, Tom Brady's going to tail off. Zero.
Okay.
I know it
fine.
sounds ridiculous, but I have zero proof.
You're short-sighted, and the doctor, who is not a doctor, got kicked. The Fountain of Youth doctor just got kicked out of the facility.
He's right down the block.
But the thing here that is amazing, the Garoppolo situation, Stugotz, is if you believe what it is that I'm telling you, Bill Belichick just got publicly neutered by his owner, just lost a power struggle to Tom Brady that will affect the future of the franchise because he pleaded to the owner's heart instead of his head. And Belichick's yelling, you gotta go head there. You gotta choose with your head. We can't get sentimental about football. And the fatherly, lordly owner who treats this guy as a son, who recently lost his wife and treats this guy as family, just lops off the head of Bill Belichick publicly. You lose the power struggle. Hey, Bill, I know you don't want to trade him. Why would you want to trade him? The best scenario is just keep them both.
Right.
Just keep them both until Tom looks like he's done. You don't lose Garoppolo. You could just keep them both.
You would have to franchise Garoppolo and pay him $25 million next year to be your backup.
Keep them both.
Yeah, well, there's another angle to this in that Brady and Garoppolo have the same agent, and that's not what's best for the agent.
Yes. I mean, all of this.
Fascinating.
All of this is amazing. It's just, but I want you to understand something based on this Seth Wickersham reporting. It's not just that we can surmise that Belichick was publicly neutered. There's the very real possibility that Bill Belichick had to pick up a telephone and trade a guy that he did not want to trade because he lost the power struggle to Tom Brady. Bill Belichick has to eat that. That'll damage your relationship forever between you two. That can damage the relationship between Belichick and Brady forever.
Does Belichick leave?
This is the kind of thing that you would leave over. Like, it's the kind of thing that would make Belichick write on a napkin that he no longer wants to be the coach of the Patriots.
Because I'm wondering how many teams would fire their coach to get Bill Belichick. Would the Steelers?
Would all of them?
I think so.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Would all NFL coaches be fired if Bill Belichick became available?
Don Le Batard.
This is the Nature Boy Ric Flair, 16 times your world heavyweight champion.
Stugotz.
The limousine riding, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, jet flying son of a gun. Ladies and gentlemen, Nature Boy, Dan Le Batard. Woo!
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, help me out, audience and shipping container. What should I be talking about here? Because I've got excerpts from this article, and every damn one of them is going to make your nipples tingle. Like this article has.
I mean, how could I pass up?
Hold on, but
tingling nipples.
Or would you prefer for us to talk about how we are now things are escalating with the University of Central Florida, and we may be in a situation where they don't want to have anything to do with our enthusiasm. And so, like, we can make fun of that, and it would be funny if this now escalates instead of from our show crowning UCF national champions. I then turn on them and begin ripping them, and because they are there are some tensions around whether or not they want us around their celebration.
This thing needs to happen because someone's got to pay for 3,500 T-shirts and a national championship trophy.
That's right.
That's already been made.
By the way, if you're watching on television, Roy has to eat. What is your grid of death punishment here? What are you eating, Roy? An entire...
This is a salami roll.
Oh. Okay, you're going to eat the whole thing? That's going to be filled with sodium, so you got to eat the entire thing during the course of the show.
That's right.
Can't slice it or anything?
No, he's got to eat
you got to eat it like a banana?
No, I can't peel the thing, Dan.
Well, but I'm saying you're going to eat it.
You can't slice it up.
You can't cut it with a fork and knife. You can't eat it.
No, I have to eat the entire roll.
Bite by bite.
Bite by bite.
All right, let's see how that one goes.
What would that sound like?
Oh, my God. He just took a bite.
Okay, well, yeah, this timing wasn't exceptional on this. You want to take another bite? Now we're just listening to you chew. Yeah, Roy, are you familiar with how radio works?
You wait for a silence, Roy.
You wait for a silence, and then you make a loud crunching sound.
And then start talking.
Okay.
Well, you've been with us for 15 years. I would think that wouldn't have been that hard.
This isn't supposed to be this easy.
Oh, wow. He's enjoying it.
All right. Well,
Weird.
okay. It's going to be very salty.
It is very salty.
Yeah. All right. So he's got to do that over the course of the show. It's a giant sausage.
This wasn't one of the options that you laid out for us in the audience of things we wanted to do this segment.
The eating of sausage?
Listen to Roy eat. Yes.
No, that's all right. So here is...
I want to hear the Brady stuff.
Well, you want to hear the Brady stuff because you don't want to read the article for yourself. But I'm happy to do an article for you. Okay. Right now, the Cliff Notes right now. This is like an audio book. This is a segment I like to call Disney Pays Me to Read. Someone else's work. Work that is not my own.
That's some giggy guy.
Yeah, right? My throne is made of jewels.
Wait, I got an easier one. I just listen.
Sometimes. Often not. So... And you're not going to retain any of it either. So that's the glory of this. You're going to ooh and ah. Mike, play that Hassan Whiteside rejoin where Stugotz gets fired up about something and then doesn't realize what it is that he's fired up about. Because what's going to happen here is I'm going to read from this article. It's going to titillate Stugotz. It's going to make his nipples tingle. And then what's going to happen after that is he's not going to retain any of it. And later in the show, he's going to ask a question that proves that he wasn't listening to anything I was saying. So that's where we're headed with all of this. So this is from Seth Wickersham's article, ESPN.com. And if you're just joining us, Belichick, Brady, and Bob Kraft, the holy trinity of winning, they are at odds. And Seth Wickersham is reporting it.
They're also off this week, waiting around to see who they're going to play.
That's right. As always, they're off this week, have the best team in the sport, and don't need quarterbacks. It doesn't matter whether they have three or none. They will still be undefeated for the next 7 straight seasons. Whiteside has told Ira Winderman, you're going to want to have a Heat jersey next season. Quote, that's all I'm going to say.
Love that. Love it, man. What do you think he means by that?
It's one of the most Stugotz moments ever, really. I love it. It feels good. It feels good. Why does it feel good? What is it?
Wow.
Whiteside has told Ira Winderman, you're going to want to have a Heat jersey next season. Quote, that's all I'm going to say.
Love that. Love it, man. What What do you think he means by that?
Do you understand what a strange human being you have to be for the thought not to produce the feeling, for the feeling to get there before the thought?
Yes, I do. Love it, man. What do you think he means by that? Wow. I can't explain, man.
It takes him 5 seconds, real time seconds to think on the air.
I feel like I have to give like an instant reaction to this.
Is Stugotz on delay? Like, is he faking that he loves something and then just has to circle back around? Is that what's happening? It's not a retention problem. It's that Stugotz has to circle back around because maybe he wasn't listening and was just saying, love that. And what do you think he means by that is just sort of him asking, Dan, can you repeat the question? I wasn't listening.
Love that. Love it, man. What do you think he means by that?
All right. Coming up next, Disney pays me to read.
Don Le Batard.
I don't know if you actually respect Steve Aoki or not, but you came off like you didn't care for him at all.
Oh, I don't.
Stugotz.
I don't care for his music. I don't care for what he represents. I don't care about the genre. I don't care about the young people who like that genre. I think it's offensive and blasphemous that they have replaced the true musicians that do real art throughout the world. I think he's a sham stealing money, a professional thief.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Mike, what's going on with UCF? Because I've got 2 hours and 15 minutes if I'm going to make a heel turn here on UCF because they're not helping us do this correctly after we bought trophies and shirts and stuff. And all of a sudden, next thing, Danny White, you don't want none of this. Athletic director.
Danny White.
I'm just teasing. It's because he was on earlier this week, and I wanted to call him out by name.
I'm not comfortable really revealing everything that's going on. I thought we were pretty close to a full go on this, and now there's some cold feet going on.
For those of you who are just joining us, we were going to steal the Wingo and Golick bus and just head to Orlando and declare UCF the national champion, and we think that UCF would like that.
We're still very much stealing that.
Yeah,
and that
we're going to still steal the bus.
Still in place.
Right. I don't know where we're going to put it. We are going to have that bus is going to be down here, and we are going to spray paint it, and it's going to be ours.
What I will say is we have the full support of the UCF athletic department and ESPN.
Well, okay. Am I allowed to say anything beyond that? Am I allowed? Because this is.
I don't think it's appropriate at this time because we're trying to,
all right,
make this happen.
All right,
still.
yeah, no, okay, all right, fine, fair enough.
But the bus,
I want the bus.
Go nuts.
I want the bus.
Really all I care about.
All right, so just so you guys know, we have a big week planned next week. If things fall together, we're going to head out like a concert band touring the nation where we're going to get to UCF, declare them national champions. There'll be like 10 or 11 people there celebrating it with us.
Tour the nation. We're going 2 hours up the turnpike.
In a stolen bus, and we need UCF's help, and we're very close to making this happen. And we're going to be a part of a megacast on Monday night celebrating the bogus national championship, which is the one between the two losers, Alabama and Georgia.
Which may end up being the real national championship, depending on how this UCF
That's
thing
correct.
breaks.
Right.
That is correct.
Yep.
If we keep feuding with UCF, that is correct.
Then Athens or Tuscaloosa, we may be coming to your city.
Oh yeah, this can be a beautiful thing though. If you can imagine this, this could take a turn here by degrees. That'll be really bad because you know how much I admire that kid, Shaquille.
Shaquille.
No, I didn't get no.
Fine.
No, Shaquille Griffin. I didn't get finished with it.
It's Shaquem Griffin.
No, it's Shaquem.
Fine. I had 3 of them there. I don't know. Do you have any money? I can spot you if you need some.
You should just go Shaq and you're safe, no matter what.
Yep.
Shaq Griffin.
Yeah.
I know his brother's Shaquille, but he's Shaquem.
I know.
Shaq is appropriate.
I know.
Just $1 there, huh?
How much do you want from me?
Well, I mean, it was you butchered it 3 different ways. So
$3.
You kind of butchered it too. You didn't correct him.
yeah, but that's not my fine, man. I mean, close enough for me.
Let me read before we'll get back to this in a second as I clean some of this up. But let me read to you on this Patriots story because it's flatly amazing. Yeah, I know. You're pointing at all the dollars that are on here. I'm hemorrhaging money. And not just here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this UCF T-shirt situation and the entire budget for something that nobody knows who's paying for it. And I think I'm going to get stuck with the tab and the crime if we steal the bus. I'm going to get stuck with the tab and the bail.
Le Batard Enterprises might be getting an invoice here soon.
Right. So, all right. But before we get down that road, Seth Wickersham has a really amazing story that might be the most logical thing in the world, but because of the people it involves, and because it involves Tom Brady being jealous and threatened, and because it involves Bill Belichick being neutered, it's a Shakespearean thing. Because it involves Bob Kraft being, guy who loves dearly like family and has to choose between his son and his most loyal soldier, the general. Like, the whole thing is crazy.
Yes.
The idea that Kraft has chosen the soldier, and that Belichick, that the 49ers might have actually had a chance if Belichick was actually in charge of trading for Tom Brady, because Belichick would have preferred to go the rest of the way with Garoppolo.
Right. I mean, keep in mind, John Lynch called Bill Belichick about Jimmy Garoppolo. They said Garoppolo was off limits. Now, we made a joke about this. A lot of people did at the time. But John Lynch was like, hey, you can't keep both. I'm the general manager. I know the math next year. It's $25 million for a backup. You don't want to trade me Jimmy Garoppolo. How about Tom Brady?
That's where the Patriots were.
Yeah.
And then here are some. I'm just going to start reading. You ready? According to interviews with more than a dozen New England staffers, executives, players, and league sources with knowledge of the team's inner workings, the three most powerful people in the franchise, Belichick, Brady, and Bob Kraft, have had serious disagreements. They differ on Brady's trainer, body coach, and business partner, Alex Guerrero, over the team's long-term plans at quarterback, over Belichick's bracing coaching style, and most of all, over who will be the last man standing. They disagree, most of all, over who will be the last man standing. Like, I need you to understand what's being reported here. That Belichick and Brady are breaking up, and Kraft has chosen Brady. Like, Belichick might be on the market soon if you keep following some of this. Belichick might be available to you.
Wow, man. What do you think he means by that?
Those interviewed describe a palpable sense in the building that this might be the last year together for this group. Listen to something here, though. I know this seems obvious.
Why
Brady's
did you trade away two good quarterbacks?
Yes, amazing. Yes. So I'm just going to read little snippets to you. Brady's stature. This is how Brady's changed since 28-3. Brady's stature in the organization has grown to the point that he's considered management. New players often address him as sir. Brady's never been management, man. Brady wanted to keep Wes Welker, and Belichick said, no, both of you get out of here. He can get out of here, and if your feelings are hurt, you can eat him. And then Belichick, this is still reading, Seth Wickersham, ESPN the magazine. Belichick's negativity and cynicism have gotten old. Brady has told other Patriots players and staff he feels he has accomplished enough that he shouldn't have to endure so much grief. Patriot staffers have noticed that this year, more than ever, he seems to volley between unwavering confidence and driving insecurity. Brady has noted to staff a few times this year that no matter how many game-changing throws he makes, Belichick hasn't awarded him Patriot of the Week all year.
Wow. Mind blown. That is amazing. It seems like Brady is angling to be the next head coach of the Patriots. Does it not? How about that? Player coach.
I think it's against the salary cap.
Oh.
This is a crazy story, man. This is
Brady's doctor, though.
I haven't even gotten. Oh, yeah. I haven't gotten more. I haven't gotten.
Coach Guerrero.
Coach
G.
Coach Guerrero. Can you imagine if Belichick just ends up going somewhere else?
49ers.
No, I wasn't even finished with the thought. And then Belichick is a total bum there, while the new Patriots coach, Guerrero, doctor who's not a doctor, keeps Tom Brady playing well into his 70s when he's won his 30th championship.